Hey everybody, we are here, Module 6, to talk about icons and sort of icon design. You guys are probably pretty familiar with icons. They're everywhere. They're on websites. They're on, basically everything. And they're just, in essence, the most simplest form of an illustration that you can kind of create. Very basic shapes are really, the most clear kind of way to use icons. They just are trying to communicate something visually, and so a lot of times they're just, as simple as they can be, just to be as quick and as representative of some sort of topic as possible. So for this assignment, I thought we would create a series of 6 icons. They can be about whatever you want. But yeah, we're gonna make 6. When you are designing these, make sure that they are sort of all consistent in size. Like your stroke weights, like the line weights, are all consistent, so they just look like a set and they kind of belong together. I pulled 4 samples that we'll walk through today. I'm gonna put these on Canvas and you can download them and check them out. So I'm gonna open these up in Illustrator right now, and you can see we've got our 4 sets right up here on these tabs. So I wanted to start with this look. These are sort of your most simple, basic, classic kind of icon looks. They're just like black and white, really minimal elements. Basically what you would think when you think of an icon. They don't always have to be super simple. Like, as you can see, this set starts to dip a little bit more into an illustration style. They're definitely still very simple. They communicate, but bringing in color, they have a lot more personality to them. And they're just, a little more visually interesting. You might want to use this kind of a style if you're building a brand or you're trying to reinforce a part of an identity, versus just communicating simply like this other version here. Our third option, again, it's sort of in the middle, is using a little bit of color to kind of give a little bit more interest to the super simple shapes. But you can see, again, they're just very standard, basic kind of, lines and shapes. One thing to note, you can kind of see all these line weights are the same. And so it really just helps them all sort of hang together and look like a cohesive set. This one is really interesting too. I like how they're using colors as sort of the connecting theme. And a lot of these shapes are very similar. Like, I think they're using the same corner radius on all of these kind of shapes to help them feel like a unit, feel like a cohesive set. And we'll get into a little bit of that in a minute, but just sort of showing you 4 different styles of icons that you guys can make as well. And I think this one's definitely my favorite. It just has it's still simple, it's clear, but it just has the most kind of happening, the most visually interesting. So you go here, but jumping back over to this first one, I was thinking we could take some of these icons and I'll just kind of rebuild them, show you how I'm using these. The shapes, or the tools that we'll be kind of using, are the Pathfinder kind of palette and just our very simple shapes. You can also use, there's a kind of a shape maker tool, the shape builder, sorry. You can use the shape builder tool. If you want, you can kind of make a couple overlapping shapes, and then you can, as you just saw in that example, kind of connect them all together. So I'll give you a quick demo of what that looks like. It's like you get your shape here, and then here. And you can come up here, and you can, they need to be selected. You click them, and then you can just click on that, and you can see you can just merge these shapes together, and then it just becomes one shape. You can also subtract shapes and do all sorts of things with it. It's a fun tool. Definitely explore that. For today, I'm going to stick mostly over here to our Pathfinder palette. and I'm gonna start making this folder. So I'm gonna zoom in. I just duplicated it. I did the selected it, and I just push the Option key on a Mac, and you just click and drag it over. So to rebuild this little shape, kind of gonna start with a square, or I guess it's more of a rectangle. So I'm looking, I have it here. The first thing I notice is that it is a little bit slanted, so I pushed the A key on my keyboard to bring up our direct selection tool. I'm just going to click and drag over the top of these, and I'm going to kind of just slant it. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm not trying to like 100% recreate this exactly the way it is. I'm just going to make a version that looks similar to it. And so we've got sort of the slant here. And now I was talking about corner radiuses before, so I see that these two corner radiuses look similar, and then these two look the same as well. So I'm going to go back to our shape over here with my direct selection tool selected. I'm going to click and drag over that one, and then I'm going to push the Shift key, and I'm going to click and drag over this one here. And you can see up here we have corners, so you can change the corner radius here. I can put like 10 in there, and it gives me this little, rounded off edge. The other thing that we can do is we can grab these little dots, and we can just click them and pull it to get the radius that we want. I'm going to go to about 15, and you can see, like, if you need it to be exact, you can put it in here. We don't need it to be exact, so we're going to go with 15.0002 because that's just what it ended up on. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to select these other corners. So I just clicked and dragged over one. I'm going to push Shift, and I'm going to click and drag over the other. I'm going to click it. And for this one, I'm going to come up here, and we're just going to do 5 because it doesn't need to be super rounded. All right, so now we have our first sort of shape. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go back to my shape here. I pushed the M key for a rectangle. It is the kind of quick key command. And I'm going to make another rectangle right here, like that. And then we are going to... Sorry guys, I just need one quick second. Quick break. I'm going to round off I'm actually just going to do this. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to duplicate this again really fast. I'm going to change the color to white. And then I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to bring it to the front. So the way that I did that was by having the shape selected. I did Shift, Command, and then the bracket key. That brings my shape to the front. You can also right click on it, and you can do arrange, if I can find it in here. It's funny, I never do it this way. Go to arrange, and you can do bring to front, and if you want to send something to the back, you can send it to the back. But we wanted to bring this one to the front. So we have it up front, and then I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to bring my shape up, and I'm trying to recreate this cool funky little line right here. So I'm going to bring this over, and again, it doesn't have to be exact. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to recreate sort of this nice point, and just something sort of like that. So I'm liking how that looks. So with my white shape over the top of my rectangle, I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to come down to my Pathfinder tool, and I'm going to click this minus front option. And so what that is going to do is that's going to cut out the top shape from the bottom shape. So now you can see we have this funky looking shape. I'm going to ungroup it. You can right click, and you can regroup it or ungroup it. So, or you can also do Shift Command G. It's a little faster. And so then that just sort of frees up these shapes. So I can pull this out. We don't need this. So I'm just going to delete that guy. And now you can see we have this kind of funky shape. I'm going to slide our other folder shape right in here. It's starting to kind of look a little bit like our folder. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So it's coming together. It's getting there. The other thing I'm seeing is we've got this right here, kind of a little bent corner radius. So if we zoom in, I'm going back to my direct selection key, and I'm going to grab just this top corner in there. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to pull that way down. Now I don't love how that looks, so I'm going to select right over here again. I'm going to grab that anchor point, and I'm just going to pull it to the left. And then I'm going to grab the handle. I'm going to slide that back out, just sort of like that, just to round that a little bit, give it a little bit of a softer edge. I think that's looking a lot nicer. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to grab this corner, click and drag right over the top. I'm going to round that guy out too, just like that, just a little bit. So now we have those kind of shapes. Our folder is looking good. I'm going to push the M key to bring up my rectangle tool again. And I'm going to make this top tab really quick. So I just dragged out a little rectangle. I'm going to zoom in, and again with my direct selection arrow selected, I'm going to click on this top, just this one top corner. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it over. I'm going to click and drag over this other top corner to select it. Clip that and just drag that over. And we're just making this top shape right here. Now I'm going to click and drag over the top of both of them to bring up the corners. We'll go to, what looks good, we'll go to 5 again. Now we have our round little tab. And I'm just going to drop that guy right in there. So you can kind of see our shape is taking form. I'm going to grab it and just pull it over a little bit so that it feels a little bit more like a tab. Alright, and it's looking good. Now I'm going back to our direct selection tool, and I'm going to grab the bottom of this anchor point. I'm just going to click it, and I'm going to pull it way down like that. And I'm going to kind of grab both of these points. I'm going to move them over so we get a little bit nicer of a shape here. Round that off a little bit. And then I'm going to come over to this side. You can see our line kind of got messed up. So I'm going to come over here to this anchor point. I'm going to click it. I'm just going to pull that down. So now we have sort of our folder shape is looking good. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to round this off by grabbing the handle, just sort of adjusting it a little bit. Zoom in. I'm going to bring the anchor point down, handle up just a little. And it just gives us a little nicer of an edge. Pull this one back a little bit. So now our icon is really starting to kind of take some shape. I'm going to bring this in. I'm actually going to change our slant. I think we went a little too slanted here. So I'm going to straighten that out. And you can kind of see we're getting this really cool visual rhythm happening here with our shape, and then a little bit of the negative space, and then this other shape here. So that's really nice. I'll line this up. I'm going to try to keep that as we're going. And right now, yeah, I'm just playing with that rhythm, finding the spot that looks good. Pull this over just a little bit more. And again, just sort of fine tuning it. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this exact right now, but just showing you, the ways to start building these little icons in the tools. So that's looking pretty good. I'm going to bring it over and down just a bit. So it kind of feels like it's opening. And then there is just sort of a way to recreate that icon. It's fun use of shape, kind of just a nice way to play. But again, like I said, you can do that, kind of keep it super simple like this if you would like. If you wanted to take it the next step, you can start bringing in color into your icons. I like how they're using a circle in the background of all of these just to sort of give it that other connective element. So as long as you have something that helps them all hang together and that they look like a set, feel free to go go kind of wild with it. But yeah, any questions about anything, definitely let me know. And I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. All right, see ya.